the presence, the partnership, or the dense ego, September 18, 2015. Webpage, www.mysoulcenter.com. By Lisa Gawlas. Well, yesterday didn't go the way it was planned out. Not a spiritual vision in the field to be had. Of course, given the weightiness I felt in my head the moment I woke up, I was not completely surprised. Of course, Spirit did warn us that we are coming out of the solar eclipse like dust particles recoagulating on the field of life. Of course, who knew what that felt like and how it would affect our day? I had no idea. Oftentimes, I take Spirit's metaphors just like metaphors, not literal experiences. And God forbid I should think all this information that is pouring out through the day, would actually affect me too. Superwoman syndrome is me. LOL. My first conversation of the day brought what was really happening in this crazy body of mine to light. Spirit said that as we stepped into our new version of ourselves, there would be a solidification period. Again, I'm thinking metaphoric in nature. I realized that there was a story unfolding on the field over the last 2 days. The first day that I could see, everyone was up in hula hoop land. Then the next day, mid-level to earth, this must be the solidification day for me. But Spirit said something closer to the equinox, the 23rd, this is too soon, ain't it? For me, my new story picks up where my old story left off, so not a whole lot of moving and changing that I needed to do to fit into this new version, except understand the higher fields of light being displayed through you. So after the first 2 attempts to read, I grabbed me a bowl of Lucky Charms, gotta keep the inner child happy, sat on the couch and pondered. The weightiness in and around my head started to give way to, the only way I can even think of describing it, like a seed losing its shell as the plant within starts to break out. Only it was my skin itself that was the hull of the seed, and I could feel and see these shards of light starting to come out of my skin, mostly through my head and down my arms. Weird, let me tell ya. And cool, but mostly weird. I did hear my team tell me I am going through a rapid photosynthesis process. A what? I had to look that up. Photosynthesis is the process of converting light energy to chemical energy and storing it in the bonds of sugar. In the human's case, the fat cells within us. So I decided, maybe if I take a bath, soak this seed of a body in water, it would hurry up and do what it is going to do so I can get to some of my readings. Bad idea. Well, bad for the intended result anyways. I laid in the bath, and I can't just lay there and do nothing, so I decided, okay Merlin, here's your chance. Let's see how you are going to teach me to play this crazy pan flute, or at least, the one pipe you shoved in my spine. The next thing I know, I am right back at the table sitting across from him, and suddenly his is moving back and forth so fast, leaving trails in its speed. He is sitting, so he is leaning as far to the right, then left, the right as his body would extend itself. I asked him, what the hell does this have to do with music, or even using breath to make music? Somewhere in the trails of Merlin, I knew he gave another one of those sly smiles. Hey. And then the next thing I know, poof, we were on the other side of the veil, and I was standing at the area I know from my life between life hypnosis experience back in 2001 as the Temple of the Presence. This is where my personal council of elders meet me to go over life experiences and help to plan out future life experiences. Through this amazing room that I meet them in, is the pulse of the Presence, what we know as God. The most amazing, love pulse I had ever experienced. But yet, it wasn't that amazing yesterday. Actually, I was kinda sad that it wasn't that vibrant, intense pulse of love that filled everything, that was everything like I experienced it in 2001. But before I go there, I was actually happy to see my dude from the Pleiades, Franklin, waiting for me. He was there the first time I had gone to see the elders. This time though, As Franklin talked to me, he didn't sound like the familiar voice of Franklin. Instead, his voice was now melodic, like each word was being sung in this most amazing melody. So of course I had to ask him, "What's up with your voice? You do not sound like the Franklin I am used to." "This is interesting and important for all of us to realize," he explained, "that what I am hearing is his pure soul voice. That through the years, the only frequency I could hear with him was an incarnate voice, because my vibration was still raising to the tune of pure soul. Now, he can't talk in his soul voice." I didn't get this part during meditation. I was marveling at his sound, but everything is on purpose, and I realized those of us on the accelerated area of Earth are now emitting a much higher frequency through our voices. This is the very tiniest part of the new instruments we have become, and really puts into a border light the phrase "those with ears to hear." So as we go into the temple of the presence, I am so expecting it to be like the few times I entered in my early years, and I know better than to expect anything. LOL. Funny how powerful we are. The room now was very different than it was well over a decade ago, and I kept trying to put it back to the way I remembered it, which really created a lot of blurry frequencies. Franklin finally stopped me by simply saying, "You are not who you used to be." Somehow, I got that, and stopped trying to force a memory of a place that is no longer needed in that way. Back in the day, my Council of Five stood across the room. I had a podium to stand at, Franklin did too. Now there was a round table and we're going to sit together. That seemed odd to say the least. Again, only this morning I understand that back a decade ago, my frequency was so dense, to come any closer to me in that environment, I would blow from the sheer purity of their light field. I was also looking, expecting the pulse, OMG, that pulse of the presence, and it was simply not there. Well, not there like I had remembered it. So I had to ask Franklin, "Where is the presence?" He laughed at me. I get laughed at a lot, let me tell you. All around you, through you, nah. I don't feel it. Again, going back to my initial experiences here close to 13-14 years ago. Franklin explained that my frequency is in harmony with the presence God and no longer keeping myself separate from that. Oh, it was still kinda underwhelming really. Then it was about to get really strange and really humbling. My Council of Five was reduced to 4 and the 6 of us sat at a round table so completely blended you could not see where one person started and the other ended. I had to ask, "Where's my other dude?" I had 5 of you all. Again, I get laughter. I am not trying to be funny here, it's a genuine question. The reply was, "It's you." Huh. That's impossible, yeah. Like I am now telling Spirit how they work things on their side, LOL. So they showed me in detail, and it would take me too long to type out the details, and truly, it doesn't matter. But back in my very early days of awakening was the energy of this massive throbbing heartbeat who I call Dreamweaver simply because every time I insisted he give me a name, he would play the music Dreamweaver. The presence, the council member that was now missing. Never in a million incarnations would I have seen that one coming. Then they explained some other details that was so weird and exciting. They reminded me that in the last 2 days, coming out this eclipse, I had read for 12 people. 6 one day, 6 the other. Each person showing up on the field, igniting my new DNA and others. 12-strand DNA, 12 readings. Yeah, I am getting this. Then I had to assimilate the energy, again what they call the human's version of photosynthesis. The next thing I know, they took the energy of that big throbbing heartbeat I knew as Dreamweaver, placed in it the center of the table. It started to form a sheath, a beautiful violet matrix of energy that went upwards almost like in a funnel shape, but not really. As it went higher, it spread out at the aboveness LOL, and a new spider web was created. It looked exactly like this amazing, beautiful, pure white illuminated spider web. They called this web, my new calendar. Weird, huh? Instantly, I got worried. Oh shit, I don't want to trap anyone into my field. OMG, this is not a good thing, is it? Yeah, I am incredibly human even in spirit. LOL. Instead, they showed me the aroma being emitted through the field of life, and like a hummingbird to nectar, you show up. And just like the nectar feeds the hummer, you place a shard of light into my field, forever changing, enhancing not only me but especially me but all those who are brave enough to read my sharings. My team also explained why and how I kinda defeat myself with my daily schedule. In spirit, we do not need to rest or take a day off to assimilate, or even sleep or ponder for hours. When you and I are together, I am so resident in that space of light, I forget a lot, that there is a human going through this process too, that does absolutely have to have days off to integrate the enormity of each connection. Although, there is nothing I can do about it in September, I will be much more mindful. I have been saying this for years. LOL, like an alcoholic promising no more drinking. LOL, to take time off so we do not have to reschedule so damn much. Spirit better make sure my integration days are on my planned days off. Sounds like a good compromise, doesn't it? But my team was not done blowing my mind. They showed me the Mesa where I now live and the guardians who have waited an eternity for this amazing time, the pure spirits that held Shambhala, heaven on earth here for our arrival, because they are the pure spirit of us. I watched over the years one by one, the group of guardians get smaller and smaller because you brought them into you. As we became enlivened, so too, did the energy field here in the place I call home. They equally blew my mind with the energy field that now lives here, and explained when people come to visit me in person, this energy embeds in them, giving them the greatest choice points of their lives. They become much more responsible with their approach to life than ever before. Simply because they were drawn to the energy. Please no, not me at all, the living presence that is alive through us here. What I find kinda funny, once someone visits me, more often than not, I never see or hear from them again. It was explained through my amazing 20 minutes in my bath yesterday, because they choose not to be responsible and therefore, our journey together was done, complete and nowhere else to go. Then, my amazing team showed me two people, one that I do read for, one that do not, as an example of how this new energy system we call life works. One lady keeps a lot of sadness in her, and my team brought her energy to my meditation and her body was in the form of a ball, like a bouncy ball. She was on the bridge just strolling around, back and forth to the filtered earth, to the accelerated earth and never really going anywhere. I was shown her ego, her mind and how it keeps her so dense in the sadness, and if she would only work harder to find her joy, which is really what the enlightenment process is all about, the heaviness of her mind would allow her to stop rolling and start bouncing, reaching higher levels of herself. The other person, living so through her ego, what many know as false light. Your ego can only go so far in broadcasting light without the purity of soul partnership, and I seen her sink into the filtered earth like she was in quicksand. The only part one could see was her right arm poking straight up in the air, like reaching for help I suppose. Her arm reminded me of the Twilight series, it twinkled as the vampires do in sunlight. But unlike the new version of sexy vampires, she was very much in the old, decaying in the light of this new world. I got out of the bath with less brains than I went in. I could barely hold a verbal word of coherence as I tried to reschedule my next person, then the next, then the next. I do want to leave you with this profound thought, knowing. When we embark on the journey of change, however we do it, can I give a shout out from meditation here? Life is going to throw you every distraction possible to see if you are serious about changing into a higher vibration of yourself. If you keep saying I was too busy, well, yeah. Can I suggest you changing your priorities? There is very little mercy left in looking and playing with that which no longer serves you. If you don't meditate, or have not figured out how to have that active, participating meditation arena, let me please direct you to my meditation page. There are 3 audio podcasts on my page that, if followed through, will give you conscious communication and interaction with your team. Let me also toss you out a handbook I wrote to help you understand and participate with this awakening part of yourself. It is only available with this coupon for free on smashwords.com. Click there to go to my handbook page and put in the coupon code XC29K, to download it for free. Lots of meditation exercises in that book to help you restore, reclaim your personal power. If that is not enough, my team is on a serious roll here. Everything I offer through my online calendar is now 25% off through the end of this month. I am closing here, before my team starts giving my furniture away. I love you all so much. Tune into the joy channel of your life, stay there, that's where the party is. Hugs of unrestricted pleasure and surges in frequency to all. Lisa Gawlas. Webpage, www.mysoulcenter.com. P.S. Coupon codes to receive 25% off single readings is 25% off. Coupon code to receive 25% on any and all packages is save 25%. Coupons expire midnight September 30th.